Hello everyone, Delray Crappie here with Crappie's Real Estate and Auctioneers in Bridgeport, Nebraska. I have the pleasure to sit here with Mary Ann Zeiler, who is the mother of Mike Zeiler, who we're going to be having the farm auction here for April 4th. Unfortunate circumstances. Mike was a young farmer here in the area, passed away, and sitting here with Mary Ann. And we just wanted to talk about Mike and Milton and Mary Ann, how meticulous they were. It's just really hard to explain on a sale bill or an ad how clean this equipment is. They went as far as if a bolt broke or something in a planter or a disc or anything, they didn't just grab a bolt out of the bolt bin. They went back to John Deere or Titan or wherever that implement was from and bought the correct bolt to put back in there. And Mary Ann, you can tell me a little bit more. As I understand, even during harvest, it didn't matter how far away you were from
a shed or a field. Everything went into the sheds at night. Nothing ever sat out. Nothing ever sat out in the weather. In the August of every year, back when we had the regular farm trucks, the guys would pull the trucks up one at a time in front of the house, and I would wash and wax the trucks, and I would clean the insides out, and I would put a little whisk broom in each truck with a squeegee with windshield washer in each truck. And the guys were told that if they got them dirty, they were sweeping out. And every night when we quit for the night, the trucks were pulled back up in front of the house. I washed the windshields, cleaned what they didn't clean out, and the trucks were backed over to the gas barrels and filled with gas. And that's the way everything we had. Everything was washed and waxed. There was, back when the good old days when we harvested beets, Milt would stand out in the freezing cold and wash the beet boxes off till there was not a drip of sugar on any of them. And that's the same way with the tractors. I mean, I know Mike always carried his microfiber cloth in the tractor, and everything was kept clean and everything was washed. And at the end of each season, when they were done harvesting, things would, if there was anything that needed fixing, it was taken back to the dealer. It was serviced and fixed and brought back to the farm. It was filled with fuel and it was put back into the shed.
I made a comment. We were going through the shop looking at a few things here just a minute ago, and there's a wringer washer there. And I said, Mary Ann said that they had that in front of the house, and that's what she would use during harvest to clean her. And I said, rags. And she said, no, we didn't use rags. We only used microfibers, chamois.
Yes,
that's the only thing we use. That's just one instance of how meticulous they are. And as you guys will see, even down to the rubber on the tractors. I mean, he didn't buy cheap tires. Everything's got Firestone tires on it. And if like the trucks and the trailers, if those tires got to be 5 years old, they were replaced. Yeah. DOT legal, just any attention to detail. Mike and Milton were probably some of the best.
We're a little on the OCD side, family, obsessive compulsive disorder, because everything had to be perfect. I mean, it had to be put back just the way it was. And I think that's just the way Milt was raised. His family was like that. This is 112 years of family on the same farm. And just as the years went by, the equipment got bigger and more land was rented, and that's how they went along.
They've done a great job. They were great farmers. You guys will look and see a lot of this equipment. It's not only waxed and polished, but just like that combine, it got a ceramic coat last fall. I think most of these tractors have been ceramic coated. It's just a very, very clean line of machinery. It'll be really hard to find anything cleaner. I just I can't stress that enough. And I just wanted to sit down and do a short video with Mary Ann. We've been visiting on the phone, and it's a tough situation. It's not something that you ever plan on doing, and I don't want to be in her shoes. So
I have one thing I want to say. Last fall, Mike needed another semi-truck driver. And my neighbor next door, Randy Geek, him and his wife moved into my neighborhood 4 years ago. And he is retired, and he wanted to know, Mike wanted to know if I knew of anybody who would drive truck. And I said, call Randy. And Rich taught Randy how to drive because he'd never been in a semi. And Randy said to me a few days after harvest, he said, you know, I've worked for a lot of people in my life, and he said, but I've never worked for anyone who said they loved their job. He said, Mike said that numerous times. I love my job. I love what I do. He said, I love getting up every morning and coming out here and going to work.
I believe that. I'm going to add a little backstory. Mike and my dad, Daryl, were good friends, and I'm sure Milton and my grandpa, Harold, were good friends. Mike got the idea to go to auction school. Maybe you can fill in a little bit more on this, but he thought maybe he wanted to go to auction school. And I remember he went to, was it?
Des Moines, I think, no,
to,
somewhere in Iowa.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep, to the Iowa auction school. And he came back and called Dad and said, I just got out of auction school. I'm ready to sell my first auction. And he came, and they did sell an auction, and Dad said he was so nervous he just couldn't hardly take it. And he said, you know, I think I'm just going to stick with farming. I do like that.
Well, and you know, when he was in, I want to say maybe 6th grade, people heard him auction because he used to play an auction. And one time, Highland School, the principal called and asked if Mike would come down and auction some stuff that the kids were doing at the school. And he went down, and like I said, he was maybe 12 years old when he did that. And the principal said he was just phenomenal. He said, I can't believe how good he is. I said, well, maybe someday he'll be an auctioneer. And then he did go to auctioneering school, but I guess that wasn't his forte either.
Yeah, I think he knew that his passion was in farming, and you can see just looking around the place, looking the equipment, there's not a thing out of place. Like Sarah and I were going through the shop the other day, and we found a toolbox, and it was just cluttered. And I said, there's no way this is Mike's toolbox. And she said, no, it's not. And so we got to digging through there, and we found a paper in there that was Terry Heimbuck. Is that right?
My brother.
Yep. It was your brother's toolbox, and Mike hadn't got it sorted out yet. So we could tell that wasn't a Zeiler toolbox. That was, no offense against the Heimbucks, but
that was my brother. It was in his garage, and when he passed away 3.5 years ago, and Mike took some of the stuff that was his Uncle Terry's.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate you guys hiring us, Mary Ann. I know it's unfortunate. I just can't tell you how much all of us at Croppies, you know, we've been friends with the Zeilers for a long time, and we didn't ever expect that phone call, and we don't expect it from anyone else. But everybody mark your calendar, April 4th. We're going to be starting at 9 o'clock in the morning. We have about 8 buildings worth of small stuff that we're going to try and get on pallets here next weekend. And so we're going to start on that small stuff in the morning at 9 o'clock, and then we'll be to the internet catalog at 12:34. And we'll be starting on the big equipment and work our way down through that. And then if there's anything left after we get done with the internet catalog, we'll come back to that. And then at a later date, we're going to be selling the tools and shop equipment and stuff out of the main shops. There's one at the house up there, and then one down here at Baird. So we're going to be selling all the shop tools and stuff at a later date, so you can look forward to that auction. But thank you for listening, and thank you, Mary Ann. We appreciate you sitting down with us, and so have a good day.
Thank you.